It feels like you were involved in either the witchcraft trials or in some sort of a persecution for women healers, maybe in Europe, maybe here in the States. I can't tell for sure, but it feels like this life was one where you were a judge, jury, executioner. That's why we get Kali. You weren't building, you were tearing down. What I want to do is I will be working with spirits, so I can't tell you exactly the order in which we're going to see things, or that's going to be revealed. Normally, what happens is I pull an initial set of 3 cards: mind, body, spirit. And I don't know at that point whether they're talking about your life right now, your life in the past, or maybe a spirit journey or lessons. I don't know until I start reading the cards. So sometimes I have to pull extra cards to try and determine what exactly is being shown to me. I consider it like a puzzle. And when you first get the first 3 pieces, you don't know what the puzzle is. But as you keep building on it, the puzzle starts making itself clearer and clearer. And so that's pretty much how the process works. Okay, I'm going to show you the cards. So you're going to see exactly what I see. Oh, you got 2 bears. That's a first. I haven't seen that before. Okay, we'll see what this message is. Okay, you're at a point in your life where you're making some decisions. And these are significant decisions because, as you can see here with the crevice, the bear has to move from one side to the other side of the crevice, and that's very deep, and it's going to take a little bit of a stretch to get over there. And so what that's illustrating, this is the mind category. So what this is illustrating is you are making a transition from thinking about something one way to thinking about it another way. This can involve many things. It could be your perception of self. It could be your perception of a situation you're going through, your perception of the world. It could involve your issues of spirituality, like clairvoyance, or type of connection you want to have with spirit. It could be any number of things, but it's about this is all about your mind, how you perceive and understand things. And so you're at a critical juncture where you're going to be making a decision. And as seen by the woman in the 5 of Stones, this decision feels scary, weighty. It feels like it is maybe even a bit traumatic for you to be making at this point, because it's going to change things in your life and you're not sure if you're quite ready for it. So, but the thing about this character, who is you, is that she has wings, and she has the ability to rise above the situation. But she isn't using her wings. Right now, she's allowing the situation to keep her down. But she has the capacity to rise above. But she just has to learn how to do that. And that may be part of the reason why there's this learning that has to take place, or this perception that has to change. And then this is the body card. And then this here is the spirit card, the 7 of Spirals. This represents something that's coming awake within you that has been dormant or sleeping. There's an aspect to you, spiritually speaking, that you perhaps haven't realized was there and you've only recently become aware of, or that you've neglected it for a really, really long time and you are just now re-engaging in it. It is some aspect of yourself, that is spiritual self, that is just now taking a yawn, stretching, and saying, yeah, okay, I'm here. Does this resonate with you at all?
Absolutely. Friday, I saw my first actual visions while I had my eyes open, and I was first, it happened in the clouds. I felt like I was supposed to look up in the clouds, and I saw this amazing, in the negative space between these white clouds, this Buddha just materialize. And as it went up to the cone on the Buddha's head, it just turned into this beautiful white light. And then we have chickens, and I had gone down to collect eggs. And I just felt like I was supposed to do that. And then I felt like I was supposed to turn and look in the woods. And when I did, it was in the woods, just in this tangle of branches. It's almost as if a portal opened up, and I started seeing first a wagon wheel, and then it was a wolf, and it just kept changing into different animals, and it would go back to the wagon wheel and then different animals. And then, so as if that experience wasn't enough, I mean, I was in tears. It was so beautiful. And then yesterday morning, as I was we have a sauna, and I'll do like a 20-minute self Reiki session in there. And then I had 10 minutes left, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and relax, because yesterday a lot happened. And so now is my time to just sit for 10 minutes. And I got a vision of my cousin, who lives in Texas, and she was telling me, um, that you figured it out. You had to stop trying. You figured it out, that you just have to relax your mind and it will happen. And then I saw like a woman, and this cousin that lives in Texas, she has her bed down in her living room, because when she moved in, she felt a spirit upstairs, and she was like, you
Mhm.
can have the upstairs, I'll have the downstairs, and she just doesn't go up there. And I saw like a woman, not clearly, but it was an adult woman, but I felt like the feeling of friendliness and peace. And then I kept seeing an eclipse happen over and over. And then I saw the state of Texas. So I had this knowing that this woman is the spirit in the house, and that somehow she showed herself to my cousin on the day of the eclipse. And so I messaged her yesterday after it happened, and I said, hey, Jess, did anything unusual happen in your house on Monday, the day of the eclipse? And she messaged back and said, yes, did anything happen in your house? And so I called her and I told her what, and she said when she got home from work, she sat down on the couch, in the rocking chair across from her, it seemed as if someone had stood up and walked away from the chair, and the chair continued to rock. And I was like, I knew that's what it was. Like I
Yeah,
knew that I'd been given that, and then I was like, I have this feeling, but should I tell her? Is this just me thinking? But I was like, you asked her to stay upstairs, and I feel like she was sitting there. You came home, and she respects your space, and she was getting up to leave you there. That's how I feel. Like she's friendly. She enjoys being there, but she's respecting you. She cares for you. She doesn't want to hurt you, and she was giving you your space when you got home. And so yeah, a lot has happened in the last
yeah,
couple of
yeah,
days, and I've been struggling and trying so hard. Like, why do I try all these different things that Bo has, and I never get an intuition. I never get anything, and all of a sudden,
yeah,
it's
everything.
been it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, everything.
yeah,
And like I said, it can be a little bit scary.
yeah, yeah.
And
But
yeah,
just a little, because it seems like, is it
yeah,
real? But I know it is, you
yeah,
know. So yeah, and it is what I've been asking for. So it almost feels like when you get onto a roller coaster, you want to go on the roller coaster. You've been asking to go on the roller coaster, you get on the roller coaster, and then you're like, oh my gosh, why did I ask to get on the roller coaster? As it's going up, that's how it feels. But I still want to be on the roller coaster.
yeah. Yeah, it gets a little scary. Yeah, it gets a little scary. But yeah, it's showing that you can rise above. And that's what this card was all about. You can rise above. So when you get scared, just you need to just rise above the situation, take another look, see it from a higher perspective. And that will help you if you start to feel a little overwhelmed or it gets a little overwhelming with you. So this is the initial reading. So let's see what else Spirit wants to say about this.
Okay.
I asked specifically if they wouldn't mind showing me a past life next. And it looks like that's what they're doing, or at least a message from the past, because that's a life contract card. Look what we have. Exactly what you're talking about. Seeing the wheel.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That is the wagon wheel.
Okay. Well, let's see what we've got here. Okay, you are fulfilling the terms of a life contract that you're currently involved in. And that's what this Ace of Scrolls is representing. You are starting the fulfillment of a life contract. Ace means it's the beginning of something. So it may not be that you may have been fulfilling life contract issues before, but this is the fulfillment of a different piece, at least. It's a part of your contract that is new, that is just beginning to be fulfilled. That's right here, the Ace of Scrolls. Scrolls represent knowledge, scrolls represent learning, but you also have the keys, and that changes everything. And you have the crow. And I always interpret, unless the spirit really indicates otherwise, I always interpret this card pretty much as a life contract. So you are in the midst of fulfilling a life contract. You're addressing a life contract role. And here, that would be what this is about. Yeah, they're linking these things together because as you're crossing over, you're crossing into this aspect of the life contract. You're crossing over in your thinking, in your perception, and your worldviews, and how you interact with spirit and everything. You're crossing over and you're moving into a phase of your life contract. That's what that means. And then with this one, once again, it's providing you reassurance that you can rise above and you can see above. And it's because the wheels of fate are turning. You're not at a standstill in your life right now. You are actually in a period of movement and advancement. And the movement and advancement is in terms of your connection with the magic within yourself, with the your connection to energy, your connection to insight and intuition, but it's your connection to I said, it's the magic. It really is the magic. It's the magic within, and it's part of your wheel right now that's turning. And the spirit, this is really interesting that for the spirit card, the Ace of Spirals, the ace represents, once again, new beginnings. So you not only got an ace in your thinking, you also got an ace in your spirit. The Ace of Spirals represents a new I want to say a new incarnation, but it's a new new aspect of your spirit journey. You're taking on a new aspect to your spirit journey, which actually fits right with the bear that's woken up, you see above. So this bear that's been dormant is now coming out, and you're beginning a new journey, a new part of your spirit journey. Let me take a picture of this so I can send it to you.
Okay.
I will put it in the chats, because what happens is as I go through here, I want to reuse cards, and to do that, I need to put these cards back into the deck. But I want to also be able to keep the cards so available so we can see them. Okay, I've sent that to you in your chat. What I want to say, and sometimes I hesitate when I do these because as I'm in the middle of speaking, then something else comes over me, and then I recognize I spoke prematurely, so I kind of hesitate sometimes when I start. But this feels like you were a judge in a past life. You have the symbol of justice, plus you have the world, and it's in the thought category. And it feels like, oh, wow. Okay, that is unexpected. This, it feels like you are a judge. And it feels like this will either be verified or not in a minute. This is a little unexpected what I'm getting coming through. Sometimes you just hesitate to say things. um,
Yeah.
it feels like you were involved in either the witchcraft trials or in some sort of a persecution for women healers, maybe in Europe, maybe here in the States. I can't tell for sure, but it feels like this life was one where you were a judge, jury, executioner. That's why we get
Wow.
Kali. You were tearing down. You weren't building, you were tearing down, which is a really, wow, that's powerful thing. And you know what? This is intense. I'm going to get some clarifying cards before I even go any further here. Make sure I'm getting this right.
Okay.
Like I said, sometimes I kind of hesitate because I don't even want to say it.
Right, right.
Okay. Oh, okay, I'm starting to get it. I'm already starting to understand why this reading is coming through. Oh my goodness, and I'm getting chills. So it's validation that what I'm thinking is, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what you were in a past life. I'm getting a little overwhelmed here. A lot of energy coming through. You persecuted the intuitives, you persecuted the witches, the healers, the women who were what you are. And that's exactly the point. Um, this here represents different lives that you have lived. And so this is suggesting that indeed this is a past life we're looking at. We're looking at a past life. And in at least one of these lives that you lived, you were a judge, jury, executioner, and you killed the women, killed tended to be women. I'm sure there were men. It could have even been, you could have even been part of the church, like the Catholic Church. You could have even been part of the Catholic Church's. They did a huge purge in the 1500s, and it could have been part of this. I really don't know. I'm not getting a specific. So it could be Salem, but it also could be Europe when they killed absolutely thousands upon thousands of female healers. So that's what it feels like. And yeah, this card is called the storyteller, but what's interesting about it is it feels more like a healer card. It actually has that feeling of bringing, it has the feel, see the light in her hands. It just,
Hmm.
I can't really see it very well. Let me see if I can give you a better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, she actually feels, even though it's called the storyteller, what it feels like is this gift of healing is in her hands, which would confirm what I was saying before. It feels like these were female healers, but they were declared to be witches and murdered, and you were part of that. Which is going to play into your life that you're living right now, what you're experiencing right now. So this is the story. That's why this is the story the spirit is telling you from your past life. And that's why there is grief here in that past life. See the grief? Once again, you have her, she's surrounded, but now she's in the spirit category as opposed to the body category. So this brought your spirit grief when you lived this life. It brought your spirit some grief, and you wanted joy. You wanted to know joy. And so you got the mirror card up here, the watcher card. The watcher card is looking back and looking at these other cards. See what she's doing? She's staring this direction. Do you
Mhm.
see?
Yeah.
She's dressed in rags as well. Okay. So she's a queen. powerful queen, but she's dressed in rags and she's looking at what's going on. She was watching as this life was playing out. She was aware of this. And at that life and in that life, the reason all this happened was because of your own perception of self. You saw yourself as a rag woman. You had a very low sense of self esteem, a low sense of connection to spirit. You did not see yourself as the divine entity that you are. You saw yourself as something much less, but you put yourself in the role of executioner, judge, jury, and executioner. Like I said, it almost feels a bit like it was part of the Catholic Church's purge in the 1500s. It kind of feels like that, but I'm not going to say 100% that's what it is, but it kind of has a feel of that. So this would probably been Europe. Um, and yeah, a lot of people died. That's the skulls, Kali's skulls. A lot of people died that didn't need to die. And this brought it created karma, although this can be interpreted as a karma card, but yeah, you saw what you did and you wanted to experience the other side of what happened. That's why there's this pain and this joy. You saw all this, you watched that life, you saw that life, it created a desire to relive, to re-experience, which is this. And you want to be more of that healer, the intuitive, the one who does what it is you were killing people for, but you want to now be that person themselves. You want to be on that side of the equation. You want to know what they were feeling and how they were experiencing and the love and the life that they had. And that's because at a spirit level, there was sadness and maybe some sense that to best understand my life, this life, I need to be on the other side again and live again, but be on the other side of it. And that is the way in which it will bring you joy. So this emergence that you're experiencing with the Raven, if you call the Raven the Ace of Scrolls, this is where this piece of this piece of your contract that is now kicking in, where you're going to get to experience the other side of things. Not in terms of persecution, that is not the point. In terms of experiencing what joy. See this here, see that card? Don't forget, this is the card here. It's not the persecution piece of it. What you wanted to know was the joy these women had. You wanted to know the healing aspect of what these women had. You wanted to be like the women that you persecuted in this life. But I don't see anything here that it says that there's going to be some there was regret from I hate to use the word regret because on the spirit side you don't experience regret, but as you look back, you saw that was not the whole story. You only saw it from your side. You saw them as a threat to maybe the Catholic Church's supremacy or whatever. You saw them as a threat. But now on the other side, you realize, oh, wow, these women had gifts. These women were powerful. These women were healers. These women were doing all these wonderful things. I want to be that. I want to do that. I want to be that person. But yet, it was caused because of this. That was what instigated your desire to experience it, was because of this. And that's what I have for you at this point in the thing. Do you have any questions? This is
a lot.
This is a little overwhelming even for me. I didn't feel like I wanted to even say it, to be honest. It's pretty weighty.
It is, and I'm wondering if that if that past life had something to do with me almost putting up this barrier from it happening, because like I explained about the roller coaster, like I want it to happen but I'm afraid for it to happen. I want it to happen but I'm afraid for it to happen. Like,
yeah,
because
and the fear could be from this life. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you were a persecutor, you were a judge, jury, and executioner of the people that you now want to be. you know.
Yeah.
So you could very well have carried over the fear, because that's the incarnation thing that could very well have carried over from a past life. The fear that if you engage in these practices, people will persecute you just as you persecuted them. And that fear, it comes from a past life. In other words, it's not real. It's a carryover. But it's not real in this life right now. It's just a carryover from a past life. It's an illusion that you're carrying with you from what happened before. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna look at next steps, if that's all right. Since we got started late, I'm kind of pushing it a little bit faster than I normally would, but
Sure, sure.
let's look at next steps and see where you need to go from there
I
to,
would love that.
man, I'm telling you, that was
Yeah, it's going to take me a long time to process that, I think.
yeah, it shocked me to truly. I was sitting here holding it in because it's like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that, but
Yeah.
I have to say what I'm seeing, and that's what I was seeing. So let's look at next steps here. Okay, this is next steps. You are in the beginning of a new part of your life journey. That's what we had already talked about, and it's going to change the way you think. It's going to change how you see the world. That Ace of Spirals is your life journey. Everything's going to start changing for you because of the contract, because of that Ace of Scrolls that we saw with the crow and the keys and everything. Everything's going to change from this point out. You are entering into part of that contract now that you wanted to take care of, that you wanted to work through yourself. So this is the beginning. That's what this Ace, once again, it's the beginning. So you're starting it. And what happens is you have this incredible treasure that's inside of yourself. And this is a treasure that's full of all this knowledge and insight and life experiences. But it's also combined with the companion card, which is the a king of spirals, which once again is the spiral card, life experience. So you are being accompanied on this journey. You are being accompanied on this discovery, rather, of the treasures that you have by one that is wiser than. Let me see. This is really interesting. Let me. Okay, there is someone that will help you as you're uncovering all your gifts. There's someone that's going to accompany you in the uncovering and discovering of your gifts and the explosion of your gifts. At least a someone. And since
And
it's in
it's
the body,
someone like an earthly someone, a
it's in
human
the body
someone?
category. Yes. This is a physical someone. Someone's going to be helping you. Keep in mind, this is a companion. So it doesn't feel like it's an adversarial learning process. It sounds like it's a companionable learning process to uncover the rest of your. It could actually be through the sage and stuff that you're doing with Bo. I mean, it could be, I don't know. But someone is going to be assisting you in uncovering your gifts in
Okay.
some fashion. And keep in mind, a teacher doesn't necessarily have to be what you'd consider a formal teacher. Sometimes a teacher
Right.
is a companion can be somebody that is just a friend that maybe says one right word. You know, it can be, and it could even represent multiple people who have little pieces of the truth for you that helps to open you up. It doesn't necessarily have to be one person. It doesn't necessarily have to be a formal teacher-student relationship or anything, because it's companion. So this
Okay.
is more like an informal type of relationship where maybe, okay, so you start to learn from other people little pieces, and you start putting all the pieces together. And when you start putting all those pieces together from all these people that are sharing little insights that you will recognize as such because you're on this part of the journey, they will help you to open up all the treasures, the treasure chest. And it sounds like it's already happening, because from what you just told,
Yes.
you have a friend down in Texas that you were able to talk to about this experience.
I have
And what
a
did she
cousin,
do?
yes.
She gave you confirmation and affirmation. She said, yes, the spirit was in I did see the chair rocking and whatnot. That was confirmation, affirmation. That's one of the ways in which you open up your gifts, is through confirmation, because it gives you confidence. It gives you the sense that, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not going crazy.
And
Those.
my one of my daughters is actually going through a similar experience as I am, except the way that we receive things is completely different. So every time we get together, we're sharing with each other. We're
There
sharing
we
with
go.
each other. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's happening to both of us simultaneously, and our
Yeah.
it is unbelievable.
Yeah, so you already know who the companion, and or like I said, it may not just be one though. There may be a lot of
Right,
people at different points in times. So
right.
this is already happening. Okay.
Okay.
And then for the spirit category, we have the elephant represents longevity, but also it represents knowledge, especially since it has all these scrolls. You see, it has all the scrolls, and scrolls represent knowledge. And your spirit is acquiring great knowledge, and is going to be acquiring great knowledge through this piece of your life contract as it plays out. This is a big deal. This is something your spirit really wants to do. And the Six of Scrolls, however, is not by itself. It's also with the Dreamer card, which suggests that some of the knowledge that you need and require will come through dreams and visions. You are not just going to be taught through your interactions with the companion. You're going to be also be taught through dreams and visions. See the knowledge with the dreamer. So these two things are going to be coming together. You might want to start keeping a dream diary, a vision.
I do have one. I've been struggling with like waking up and being able to write it down because it's just gone before I can write it.
Yeah, they
So
disappear very
yeah.
fast. But as much as possible, try and keep a dream diary, but also a vision diary, an
Okay.
insight, all the things, the insights, the visions, trances, if you do shamanic journeying, those sort of things, put them all together in this one journal. And and you want to do that because this is part of the spirit teaching you, giving you knowledge and insight. You see that she's leaning her head against the elephant as though that what is that process of learning by
Osmosis.
thank you. The term was
Yeah.
escaping. Almost like the process of osmosis, which once again we have the dream card. So it's like you're going to be getting a lot of information. It's going to be coming not a little, a lot. There's, I mean, six scrolls here. And you see the nighttime moon and the stars, and we got then once again the dreamer. So it's really you might actually find that you do better journeys or better trances or better visions in the nighttime, not just relying upon dreams, but actually doing trances and journeys and stuff at night as well. It may enhance your ability to um, acquire the learning that your spirit wants you to have. So the message of the card is the next steps is you are beginning a new phase in your life, that you simply are, and it's affecting how you think and perceive and understand the world. Your companions are going to be a vital asset to you. Really keep those relationships up. Make the most of those relationships so that you can benefit from those to the greatest extent possible, to help you to uncover all of your gifts, all of your abilities, the magic. If you recall, we had the Merlin card. So
Yeah.
the magic that's revealing itself to you. And lastly, the last piece of guidance is to keep a record and of your dreams, your visions, your trances and whatnot, and maybe even attempt to stay up into the night a little bit and try and do trances and such at night, and not just rely upon your dreams, to see if that enhances your reception and enhances your ability to remember those visions. And this is, and this is the message that you've been given for next steps.
Wow. Um,
Oops, I didn't take a picture.
I'm kind of speechless right now, actually. Everything is so so spot on and it feels right. I wasn't expecting, the part about my past life, but that actually makes what's happening and the reason that I feel so strongly about it. Um, now there is one other thing that I don't know if you um get a sense for or not, but as of Monday, I drove 8 hours to go down and just bask in the total eclipse and feel the energy of it, and drove 8 hours back. And as I've been struggling for a little while for some reason, I've just really been connecting with animals. I keep seeing animals in my visions, like I was telling you, but Monday, all of a sudden, I just realized that at least for right now, I cannot eat meat. Like I think it's a beautiful thing to harvest a deer and have it nourish you and all of that. And I've always felt that way. Um, but right now I have such an aversion, like I just cannot put it in because I just keep thinking of the soul of the animal. And I don't think that eating meat is wrong. I just have this feeling that it's not for me right now, and I'm not sure why. But I'm okay. I don't need to know why, but I'm curious as to why, why now or why. So I don't know, and it's very strong. Like it
Yeah.
happened almost like a switch.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I got an answer. Okay. What's happening is that you're in a period of introspection and transition, self-awareness, and animal meat can weigh you down a little bit when you're in these deep introspective times in your life. You are transitioning from who and what you've been. You see the mirrors, who and how you've perceived, how you've lived. All these versions of yourself, you've left them behind and you're on a new path to a new way of living. And that magic, and part of that magic is going to be working with nature. Part of that magic is going to be, yeah, I'm definitely here with nature. Part of it is with nature. And follow your guidance. There's a stage, there's a phase, a stage for everything. There's a time for everything. And you're currently in a time and a phase, a transitional point, even maybe a vibrational shift. And the meat weighs you down.
Okay, yeah, because it feels almost like it happened so quick. And like my husband, he used to do meat smoking competitions, and yesterday was the first day that he smoked meat, and it smelled wonderful and it looked wonderful. I had no desire to take a piece and put it in my mouth. Like it just, the
Yeah,
desire's gone. It's nothing I have to fight. It's just like it seems unnatural right now to me.
right. And
um,
this is where, and if you see the mirrors, see all the different versions of self that he's gone through. That's what you're doing. You're going through different versions of self. And at this point, you may have left meat behind. It may be permanent, may not be. Um, but at this point, this has all been left behind. That's why I said I think you just need to follow your intuition, and you're at it.
and just maybe I don't need to know why. Just know
Right.
that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You're at a critical juncture in your introspection, your self-awareness, and in your journey. And this is being left behind. And this seems to indicate that you are indeed developing a almost magical relationship with nature. And, it's interesting though, animals eat animals all the time. Um,
Right. And yes.
and that, so as you say, it's not that it's wrong to eat meat, but I feel
Correct.
like it, at this point at least, that it weighs you down. It keeps your vibrational level a little duller, a little less vibrant of a note, than it would be without it. And I think it has to do with that. And this may be just a temporary thing. It may shift in the future. I don't know, but I that's kind of what I'm seeing. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. And that's,
That makes sense.
and is there anything else you'd like to say before we close off?
This is exactly what I needed. It is
Oh,
exactly what I needed. Mhm.
I'm so glad to hear
Yes.
that.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the privilege of doing this reading for you.
You are welcome. Bye.